Hello, sports fans. This is Steven Hill for JustMyPicks.com, and I'm bringing you a special NFL breakdown of the top 10 NFL pass rushers in the NFL right now. We're going to hop right into the list. There's a lot of exciting players that's on this list and a lot of people that are going to do well in the 2013 season. We're going to start off at number 10. Chris Long of the St. Louis Rams. Chris Long last year had one of his best seasons with 11.5 sacks last year. That was a young Rams team who on defense grew leaps and bounds. I know they have James Laurinaitis. They have a lot of key pieces on that defense. At cornerback, they've improved. At safety, they've improved. But Chris Long having another year in that system is going to be a solid defender. He's also probably going to lead that team in sacks. He's probably going to be their best defensive player on that team. He's probably the defensive MVP. Chris Long, son of Hall of Famer Howie Long, he just has a motor that doesn't stop. He plays well after the play's over. He does the little things that he understands the game of football. He understands that defense is a physical part of football, and he takes that to heart each and every play. And I think that the Rams may mess around and send a team to the playoffs next year. If Chris Long balls out like I think they can on that defense, I think they will. Coming in at number 9, Cameron Wake with the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins have done a little bit of a facelift this offseason and got a lot of offensive free agents. But Cameron Wake is the only person on his defense that scares me because he can continuously go through double teams, triple teams. We've seen him. You can't put a tackle on him one-on-one, or you can't put a guard with him one-on-one because he will beat that coverage. Cameron Wake is a big reason why the Miami Dolphins defense was successful last season and in any other success that they had. Cameron Wake, a lot of people sleep on him because he doesn't have the big resume in college. He doesn't have the big high school bravado coming out into the league. But Cameron Wake gives you a solid worker who works hard, who each and every play goes after it. We saw last year he had 15 sacks. I think it'll be down a little bit next season, but I think he'll still be one of the top 10 pass rushers in the NFL. He's just too good not to be on this list. Coming in at number 8, Carlos Dunlap of the Cincinnati Bengals. He's one of those raw, freakish talents that coming out of the University of Florida, he had some behavioral issues, problem issues with the law. But we've seen this Cincinnati Bengals defense improve. At first, it was the Cincinnati Bengals offense carrying this team. We saw last season a lot of the Bengals defenders played well late into the season. We saw just a transformation. I know you got Ray Malaluga. You also have Geno Atkins up there. That they have one of the best pass rushing teams as a whole. You know, you can get a little bit of rush from the pass from the linebackers. You can also get it from the corners. You can also get it from the D linemen. It's just so many things that they do well. But I think Carlos Dunlap will have a breakout season. He will be one of the key reasons why the Bengals are successful. As long as they play well on defense, he will shine. Coming in at number 7, JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul of the New York Giants. With Osi Umenyiora no longer a part of the New York Giants organization, JPP will have even more playing time. I know sometimes they put him at defensive tackle, sometimes they put him at DN. He's been improving since each and every year he's been in the league, since a rookie. He's physically a gifted specimen. You know, he's the big 6'5", long, rangy guy. He has the athletic ability of a tight end, you know, and it speaks volumes. The New York Giants continuously find pass rushers from places we didn't see it coming. They continuously do well each and every year as far as sacking the quarterback. But with Osi Umenyiora gone, and you have to account for Justin Tuck, you have to account for Matthias Kiwanuka, you have to account for a lot of those other guys on that defense. So JPP, this will be his best season by far, I think, in 2013. I think he may lead all Giants defenders with sacks going into next season. Coming in at number 6, Jared Allen, the Rhinestone Cowboy. We've seen Jared Allen year after year, no matter if the Vikings are in contention or not. He continuously plays. We saw him work hard. We saw him do a lot of the great things. Jared Allen just has a love for the game of football. He doesn't care if he's winning. He doesn't care if he's losing. As long as he's playing football and playing at a high level and doing what he needs to do, he's happy. And, you know, the Vikings took a big step last year. The Vikings are going to be even loaded more on defense defense this season than they were last season. So I think that Jared Allen will demand a double team, but I think he'll put up a lot of better numbers than he did last season. I think he'll have a breakthrough season this year, and I think that he will lead the Vikings to the playoffs again. Coming in at number 5, DeMarcus Ware. The Dallas Cowboys, they have a lot of inconsistencies on that football team, but one of those inconsistencies is not DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware has been a solid member of the Cowboys since his rookie year. We've seen DeMarcus Ware go through injuries. Yes, he has become a little injury prone, but DeMarcus Ware as an outside linebacker, as a defensive end, as a defensive tackle, cannot be stopped by one man. We've seen his powerful bull rush moves. We've also seen him in coverage where he gets the interceptions. He's just overall, you have to account for where he is on the field at all times. You know, a lot of these players nowadays, they can only do one thing. They can only pass rush, or they can only drop back in coverage. DeMarcus Ware is a combination of great hands, great size, great speed, and we've seen him haunt quarterbacks all through his NFL career. I think he'll have a breakout season for the Cowboys and really do well for them. Coming in at number 4, Clay Matthews of the Green Bay Packers. It's just one thing to have Clay Matthews on the field. He's an emotional leader. He's one of those guys that bring his hard hat. Son of a Hall of Famer. You know, he's got a lot of the intangibles you want in a defensive leader. He's that guy that even if he's hurt, he's trying to play. So Clay Matthews from the linebacking position is one of the top 10 NFL pass rushers because he just gets the job done. He's a missile. And when he's coming, you know he's coming. You always have to account for Clay Matthews. We saw in a lot of those games last season, Clay Matthews was coming out the backfield. He was coming everywhere. He was coming from the left side, right side, up the middle, from the linebacker, from the defensive end position. Clay Matthews gives the Green Bay Packers their best defender and their most legitimate pass rusher. I think that with the addition of the Packers having a little better defense, that Clay Matthews will ride and make a lot of great plays. I know B.J. Raji talked to him a little bit earlier this week. He was talking about how Clay Matthews has improved, and he deserves that big contract he got. He got his money. Now he will perform this week. Coming in at number 3, Von Miller. Von Miller and the Denver Broncos are on a roll. Last season, we saw their defense do a lot of great things. Von Miller, since his rookie year, has really been a one-man wrecking crew. I know they lost Elvis Dumervil, but Von Miller continuously, we saw last year, 18.5 sacks. He is just a monster. You can't block him one-on-one. His bull rush moves, his power, he can get skinny very quickly on some of those quick blitz rush plays. He can back and guard wide receivers, tight ends. He can do it all. The only thing that scares me is Von Miller is probably the only pass rushing threat on that Denver Broncos team. But I think he will get his opportunities. I think that he does play well with or without help. And I think that as long as he stays healthy, he will be the best defender in the AFC. And I think that he's earned that right. Coming in at number 2, the San Francisco 49ers, Aldon Smith. Last season, Aldon Smith got hampered towards the end of the year. He perhaps could have broken the all-time single season rushing pass rushing for sacking the quarterback. But Aldon Smith is a freak of nature. He does so many things well, and he's only asked to primarily pass rush because the San Francisco 49ers are loaded on defense. I think that this season he will have yet more opportunities with a Justin Smith healthy, Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman. You just have Carlos Rogers. Now they added Nnamdi Asomugha. I know that they lost the big safety, but I'm telling you, Smith, as long as Smith stays healthy and he can stay clean throughout the game, we've seen him put pressure on all quarterbacks in the NFL. We've seen him do it to Tom Brady. We've seen him do it to a lot of players. So moving forward next season, I expect him not only to be a breakout player, but I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to be able to make it to the Super Bowl with that kind of defense, that pedigree that they have out there. And coming in at number 1, my number 1 NFL pass rusher in 2013, J.J.Watt. Something needs to be said about J.J.Watt. When Brian Cushing went down, we wondered who was going to be the Texans' leader, who is going to do these things, who's going to get them in playoff shape. J.J.Watt continuously changed the game from the defensive end. I can't tell you how many times his hand massive hand, have batted down quarterback throws, and he did it at an unbelievable rate. We saw him against the Jets have 4 or 5 and almost intercept the ball on each and every time. It's almost impossible to stop J.J. Watt with a double team, and yet even when he gets double teamed, he creates pressure with those large hands, and he intercepts the ball at the defensive end position, and he also creates havoc. He's a mismatch. I know a lot of teams in the AFC South are having nightmares about how do you defend J.J. Watt. He's just a game breaker. He was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year last year, and he deserved it. I think that there's no player in the league that will have as much success as he will next season, but just to show you that the Texans, they need a little bit more help, but J.J. Watt will be the top defensive player as far as pass rushers goes in the NFL in 2013. You can check me out at justmypicks.com. You could also follow me on YouTube.com/justmypickstv. Also follow me on Twitter at justmypickstv. Thank you very much for subscribing, and please comment.